The roar tore through the silence of the African savanna like a blade. It was not a hunting roar. It was pure pain, translated into sound. Cato, a male lion with golden fur marked by scars, stood still atop a rocky rise. His yellow eyes were fixed on something no predator should ever have to contemplate, two gazelle fawns trembling beside their mother's lifeless body. The carcass was still warm. Hyenas had attacked during the night. He descended slowly, each heavy step against the dry earth. The fawns did not flee. Perhaps they were too young to understand danger. Perhaps they were paralyzed by grief. The female, whom Cato mentally named Zara, let out sharp, desperate sounds. The male, smaller and more fragile, only trembled. His name would be Tao. Cato approached. His instincts screamed contradictory commands. Hunt. Kill. Survive. But something deeper held him back. An old and painful memory, his own cubs, killed by rival lions months earlier. He could still smell them. He could still hear the desperate cries of the mother who failed to protect them. The gazelle fawns looked at him. There was no fear in those eyes. Only absolute helplessness. Cato sniffed the air. No other predators nearby. No gazelle herd. Those two were alone in the world. And so was he. Then he did something that defied millions of years of evolution. He gently picked Zara up by the scruff of her neck, as he would a lion cub. She did not resist. Tao followed him, stumbling. Cato carried them to his den, a cave hidden among rocks, far from the eyes of other predators. There, in that cool half-light, the lion lay down. The gazelle fawns curled up against his warm body. He felt their hearts beating too fast. He felt fear turning into something else. Trust, perhaps. But Cato knew this could not last. Nature does not forgive transgressions. And he had just committed the greatest one of all. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And tell me in the comments, what did you think so far? Which city or country are you watching from? The first days were a silent nightmare. Cato did not know how to feed herbivores. He brought fresh meat from a nighttime hunt, but Zara and Tao recoiled, terrified by the smell of blood. They bleated softly, searching for milk that did not exist. The lion watched, powerless, as the fawns withered. On the third night, Tao stopped moving. His eyes began to lose their shine. Cato felt a tightness in his chest he could not name. He left the den in despair, roaring at the star-filled sky. There were no answers. Only the dry wind of the savanna. That was when he saw it, a bush full of green leaves near a small stream. Cato had never eaten vegetation, but he had watched gazelles feed. With absurd care for a predator of his size, he tore off entire branches and carried them back to the den. Zara sniffed the leaves. Hesitant, she took the first bite. Then another. Tao lifted his head and mimicked his sister. Cato felt something strange pass through his body. Relief, perhaps. Or hope. But the savanna does not forgive transgressions easily. One morning, while Cato was hunting far from the den, a lone hyena found the fawn's trail. Zara sensed the danger first. She pushed Tao toward the back of the cave and stayed at the entrance, trembling but firm. The hyena advanced, jaws open. Cato arrived like a storm. The impact was brutal. The hyena didn't even have time to scream. Cato knocked it down with a swipe, teeth sinking into the invader's throat. It was fast and violent. When it was over, he was covered in blood, breathing heavily, eyes wild. Zara did not flee. She walked up to him, sniffed his red-stained muzzle, and rested her head against his paw. In that moment, Cato understood. He was not just protecting two fawns. He was building something impossible. A family nature had never planned. But the real test was still to come. Because in the savanna, secrets do not remain hidden for long. And what Cato was doing would soon attract eyes that forgave nothing. 6 weeks had passed. Zara and Tao grew, their legs stronger, their eyes more alert. But something was wrong. They did not behave like gazelles. When Cato roared, they did not flee, they ran toward him. They tried to play like lion cubs, swatting clumsily. Zara even tried to roar once, producing only a high-pitched bleat that made Cato tilt his head, confused. But the biggest problem was not behavior. It was the smell. Cato realized it. Zara and Tao now smelled like a lion. The predator scent was embedded in their fur. Any gazelle herd would reject them instantly. They were trapped between two worlds, belonging to neither. One afternoon, while they rested near the stream, a human figure appeared on the horizon. A woman with her hair tied back, carrying photographic equipment and binoculars. She approached slowly, keeping a safe distance. Cato growled low. Zara and Tao hid behind him. The woman did not advance. She only observed, took photos, made notes. After an hour, she left. In the days that followed, she returned. Always keeping her distance. Always silent. Cato began to tolerate her presence. She never posed a threat. Only curiosity. What Cato did not know was that this woman, a researcher named Amara, was documenting something science considered impossible. She sent reports to universities. Her photos circulated among biologists. The case of the lion who adopted gazelles was becoming known worldwide. But while humans debated theories and wrote papers, Cato faced a far more urgent dilemma. Zara and Tao needed to learn to survive on their own. They needed to find their own herd. But how do you teach prey to be prey when you are a predator? How do you return fawns to a world that would reject them? Cato made a decision. Every dawn, he took Zara and Tao to the edges of territories inhabited by gazelles. He let them observe from afar. Let them learn the sounds, the movements, the rituals. It was painful. Like teaching someone to leave. Like preparing a farewell that tore you apart inside. But Cato knew, holding on would be selfishness. Loving was letting go. Even if it meant losing the only family he had left. The moment arrived on a foggy morning. Cato led Zara and Tao to a clearing where a large herd of gazelles grazed peacefully. He stayed hidden among the rocks, watching. The fawns hesitated, looking back, seeking approval. Cato only nodded his head. Go. Zara took the first step. Tao followed. They approached the herd slowly, cautiously. Some gazelles lifted their heads, sniffing the air. The smell was wrong. Very wrong. An adult gazelle, probably the leader, advanced aggressively. She stomped her hooves on the ground. Others joined, forming a hostile barrier. Zara tried to communicate, but her bleats sounded strange, tainted by months of imitating roars. The herd expelled them. Violently. Zara and Tao ran back to Cato, frightened, confused. He licked their foreheads, feeling his heart break. They were not accepted. Perhaps they never would be. That was when Amara appeared. But this time, she was not alone. She brought 2 veterinarians and specialized equipment. She approached with her hands raised, voice calm. Cato growled, positioning himself in front of the fawns. But Amara showed no fear. She spoke softly, showing something in her hand, fresh acacia leaves, Zara's favorite. She placed them on the ground and stepped back. For 3 days, Amara and her team built trust. On the 4th day, with Cato's silent permission, they approached Zara and Tao. They applied a special treatment, a natural oil that neutralized the predator scent. They brushed their fur. Removed every trace of Cato. The transformation was devastating for the lion. Seeing the fawns lose his scent was like erasing memories. But he remained still. Steady. The next morning, Amara led Zara and Tao to another herd, younger, more receptive. This time, with their scent corrected and accompanied by careful human observation, the gazelles accepted them. Slowly. An older female, who had lost her own fawns, took them in. Cato watched from afar. He saw Zara look back one last time. He saw Tao disappear among bodies that finally recognized him as equal. He roared. Not in pain. In farewell. And for the first time in months, Cato walked alone across the savannah. But not empty. He carried something no lion had ever carried, proof that love overcomes instinct. 2 years passed. Cato aged. His scars multiplied, his coat lost some of its golden shine. But he remained in that territory, hunting along the edges, watching from afar. Amara continued documenting the case. Her reports inspired debates in universities around the world. Scientists questioned decades of theory about animal behavior. The lion who defied nature became a symbol. But for Cato, none of that mattered. One afternoon, while resting under an acacia tree, he saw something that made his heart race. Zara. Now an adult, elegant, strong. But she was not alone. Beside her, two small fawns, with spotted coats, stumbled through their first weeks of life. Zara guided them carefully, teaching them where to find water, which plants to avoid. Cato remained still, just watching. Zara lifted her head. Her eyes met his across the distance. For one eternal moment, predator and prey recognized each other. Not as hunter and hunted. As family. She did not approach. She knew she could not. But she inclined her head, a subtle gesture Cato recognized immediately. It was the same movement she made as a fawn, leaning against his paw. Gratitude. Recognition. Love. Tao appeared as well, larger than Zara, with impressive horns. He led a small group of young males. Strong. Confident. Alive. Cato roared softly. It was not a threat. It was pride. He watched until Zara, Tao, and their families disappeared into the golden horizon of dusk. Then the old lion lay beneath the cool shade of the tree, closed his eyes, and for the first time in years, felt complete peace. The story of Cato traveled beyond the savannah. Amara published a book. Documentaries were made. Children in classrooms learned about the lion who chose love instead of hunger. But the true lesson was not in the books. It was etched into the scars of a solitary predator who proved something revolutionary. Instinct is not destiny. Compassion has no species. And family is not about blood, it is about choice. Sometimes, the greatest act of courage is not to attack. It is to care. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what you felt. Your participation keeps stories like this alive.